In a podcast land where thoughts collide, Brian and Craig will be your guide. No topic too small, no tale too tall. Tune in, laugh out, you'll have a ball. From mysteries deep to light-hearted jokes in a poker rhythm where laughter invokes. Untitled is their name, the fun untamed. Each episode a ride, this shows their claim. Untitled, Brian and Craig, get ready for a twist and a leg shake. In a quirky world where anything goes, join the ride as the madness flows.
Let's check our goose. Oh, geez, my phone just went
Yeah.
off.
Goose warning index. Goose warning index.
It's actually, we're sitting at a 4. There's some at a park nearby my house.
A 4.
Yeah.
That seems too high for just there's some at a park near my house.
Okay, I'll amend it to 3.
I think 3. I think 3 feels appropriate for the goose level warning this week. So that's
Okay.
good.
Speaking of this week, the NFL schedule was announced, and guess who's coming to the tropical land of Niagara Falls?
I don't think it's tropical necessarily, but I do believe I know who's coming because that person would be me. Woohoo!
So I'm pretty excited for that. And also, I did a thing today. Friday was Ride Your Bike to Work Day, and I rode my bike to work, and then it promptly had the craziest onset fast thunder and lightning storm I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, so you got wet.
I did not, because it moved through. I arrived to work when it was starting, and then it got really bad for like an hour and a half, and then, I'm not kidding, Craig, the sun came out. So
Okay.
it was like, wow, that didn't even matter. And I was really, really worried about my life choices that day. But it turned out to be okay.
So Annie is a bad weatherman because she says that the sun will come out tomorrow, but it actually came out same day. So she was a day early or a day late. Yeah. But good. I'm glad you didn't get smoking. Now, is this the bike that weighs approximately 4,000 pounds that
Yes.
we were trying to move out of your? Okay.
Yes, but you know what is crazy is that I actually spent the time, effort, and money to fix the tires, and I got the tires taken care of, so that's good. It doesn't feel like 4,000 pounds, and I actually fixed the what do you call it? The locks, so that the locks are no longer a pain in the ass. Yes, so the wheels are working.
That's good.
You know, I actually got it working, and I did a trial run, and I actually have to plug it in and let it recharge because I just don't have enough juice. Maybe forgot like a bigger battery. I
don't have a ton of experience with electric bikes. Are they all that big and heavy, or is that just because it's like an older one, or?
They are all kind of heavy because that's how, they are.
Yeah.
But they're not as heavy as mine because mine's got a bunch of crap on it, so mine probably weighs like 90 pounds.
It was, for those who weren't there, which is everyone except for what's your buddy's name?
Daniel.
Daniel, that's right. Yeah. Except for the 3 of us who were there and got to experience this firsthand. His bike was in his backyard in a shed, and it was somewhat heavy. 4,000 pounds might be a slight overstatement, but it was heavy, and the wheels didn't turn, and it was awkward. So we had to like lift it and move it. And this was after we had lifted and moved, I don't know, 400 boxes into this gigantic truck. And we were all tired. We were all real tired, and we didn't want to move big, heavy things anymore. So that's probably why it felt like 4,000 pounds. But
yeah,
I'm glad it's working, and I'm glad that our effort in moving it into the truck was not in vain, and that you were able to also avoid rainstorms. So it sounds like everything came together.
Yeah. I also didn't get hit, so that was good too.
It's always a good day when you don't get hit, I'm assuming by a car or anything, or
yeah.
I don't know. You could be hit by lots of things.
Well, yeah, most people, though, in Buffalo are kind of poorly. Well, how do I say this nicely? Most people similar to Utah, in Buffalo, are terrible drivers.
Oh, okay. I was going to say they're just not used to seeing people on bikes, maybe. I don't know. It doesn't feel like a place that has a lot of bicyclists. Is that an accurate representation, or?
There's actually a ton of... There's actually a bike trail that goes from North Tonawanda, which is just north of Buffalo, to Ontario, Canada.
Okay.
So, and then off that main trail is like all these other offshoot trails.
Well, that's good. They have at least some places for people to go and either exercise or I don't know. How much is an electric bike? I've never ridden one. How much is an electric bike like a motorcycle, and how much of it is you actually have to exercise a little bit to get it moving?
Well, you can go straight throttle, but that kills your battery and kills your range. So what I
Yeah,
do is well, since I'm fat and out of shape, I'm not the Greek god that Craig the Catholic is.
interesting.
So, so right now there's 5 levels. I usually stay around the mid level, so I actually can get a workout in.
Okay,
Yesterday, I think I burned like 700 calories there and about 650 on the way back.
okay, so that's good. So you can get some exercise, but it gives you a little assist too. Okay,
Yeah, and it makes the hills more flat.
yes, that's always a plus because going up a hill on a bike is the worst part of riding a
Yeah.
bike.
Now, if there are so the way that e-bikes work is the more expensive you go, the lighter they get,
Right, that makes
and
sense.
they can get really expensive. Mine, not so much, but mine's kind of like I wouldn't say entry. Yeah, I guess mine's like upper entry level, like kind of to like, oh hey, I'm an enthusiast. But I built it in such a way to be a commuter bike, so it's got like
Okay,
racks and stuff on it. So
so yours is the Huffy of electric bikes.
I would say it's more like it's a little bit above. It's like 2 steps above Huffy. So if we were to compare it to like whiskey, it's not Evan Williams at $7 a handle. It's probably Jack Daniel's Old Number 2,
Okay,
which is above Old Number 7. So,
okay, but it's not. What's that one? Grandpappy's something or other. You know
oh
what I'm talking
yeah,
about?
yeah. Pappy Van
Yeah.
Winkle or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds right. Or it's something like that, where it's just insanely expensive. But anyway, this
Yeah,
is a welcome to our discussion of whiskey and e-bikes. Welcome.
yeah, but don't combine the two
No, no, that's a bad combo. No,
because
what? Do the bike first and then the whiskey. Okay, whiskey
yeah.
first, then bike. Bad.
Yes.
So
Actually, here's a terrible story. Apparently, there's an epidemic in Buffalo with people giving their children e-bikes and their kids, and I say kids, they're like teenagers. They're like 15, 16. So they're, I guess, mostly adults, like, as far as, like, body-wise, I guess.
okay, I was gonna say 15-year-old and adult are not two words I would put in the same
No,
sentence, but yeah,
I'm, like, they're about as tall as they're gonna be. They're about it,
right,
you know what
right,
I
right.
mean?
I'm with you.
Yeah. And they are, I'm not kidding, Craig, crashing into parked cars, like getting hurt, crashing into like garbage cans, trees. It's just because I guess people are buying them and they can go up to like 20. The most affordable ones can go up to 25 miles an hour. And like these kids are like seriously hurting themselves. Yeah.
Make sure
Yeah.
you make sure you get your kids instructions and a
No,
little bit of training.
just get them a regular fucking bike.
Also that. Yeah, they're kids.
How about that?
They can pedal. We did it when we were kids. They can do it now.
Yeah, but although you and I grew up during free range parenting, where it was like, okay,
True.
be home by sundown, and we'd like, fire off bottle rockets and like,
Yeah. Climb the top of 7-Eleven and set fires on top of it. Not that
yeah.
I ever did that, but I've
Oh,
heard.
well, no,
I definitely that wasn't me. Just in case the statute of limitations hasn't run out. I don't know what you're talking about.
no, and we'd never go to the gravel pit and shoot and shoot at birds, never,
No, no. Pellet
or
guns, sparrows, crash
never.
course. No, that wasn't us. No, definitely not.
Yeah, actually though,
Uh,
because I grew up in Alaska, it was real ammo, but we won't go into that.
oh well, I didn't. Yeah, I grew up in Aurora, so
Oh, so chances are good it could have been real ammo, but wasn't.
it was less likely in the 80s than it is today. But I mean, yeah, it's possible back then. But I wasn't the one carrying the live ammo and and actual handguns. So
Yeah.
we just had
Also,
BB.
horrible fact time. The first school shooting was actually in Alaska
Oh, great!
in 1997. There you go. And now you know.
And one of the most famous ones was like 6 miles from my house.
Yeah. Columbine, right?
Columbine, of course. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I've
Anyways.
I've been inside of that high school. It's actually kind of nice.
Oh, well, anyways.
Dude,
Switching gears.
what are we doing? What?
I
Okay,
don't know. I don't know.
Do we need to start? Do we need to start over? That's why we've covered extensively electric bicycles,
Yes.
school shootings, and whiskey. I think that's what we've done so far. Maybe let's just shake it out. Let's take a minute. Everybody stand
Yeah.
up. If you're listening, also stand up. We're just gonna
Yeah.
shake off the first 10 minutes of what's happened so far. We're gonna
Yes.
I'm standing. I'm vibrating my body in ways to shake off
Yeah.
whatever that was. And from here on out, we're gonna do our thing a little better than what we've done so far, because I don't know what's happening today, but it's going in
Yeah.
a weird place. So,
Hey,
anyway,
you know what else I did? I went to a really good ramen shop.
yeah. Oh, good. It's a restaurant corner, which always makes me happy because I will go to Buffalo and then I can hear about. I'm not going to go to every restaurant that Brian eats at because I won't be there for months. But tell
You'll
me
also
about your
get
ramen
very
shop.
fat. You also get incredibly fat. So
Yeah.
there's that.
Well, there's no preventing that now, son.
So we went to this place called Haruko Ramen, and it was awesome. Instead of how they use like the little pork cutlet thing, they use chicken, but you can get pork. But I thought that was really interesting.
I guess I don't know enough about ramen to know what you're talking about. But
Oh, well, those that know.
if you know, you know, and if you don't, you're me.
Yeah,
But so it's good, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it was good. It's pretty solid. They had really good takoyaki, which is like fried octopus dough balls. I don't know how else to explain them, but they're very good.
I would eat that. That sounds interesting.
The first time I ever I was ever introduced to them was on one of the rivers in Osaka, and I was incredibly drunk. And they're street vendors, and it said takoyaki on it, and I was like, okay, great. So I went in there, and in Japan, and from street vendors, you get like a skewer of like 3 or 4, and they're only like $3, right? So I kept throwing money at this guy, and I went through his line like 4 times. He's like, "No more."
He's telling you no more? You want?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
is it dangerous if you eat too much? Like octopus dough balls?
No, I just think it was because like he was like this weird foreigner. He's gonna eat out all my stuff, and my regulars can't get any. Is what I'm assuming. He said a bunch of shit in Japanese, which A, I don't speak very well, and B, I was also drunk, so my
Right.
recollection of the recollection is bad.
That's funny. You've had too much. You must stop now.
Please, weird foreigner man, go away. You're weird, and we don't like you.
Your money is no good here because we don't like you hanging around. Take your octopus dough balls and go.
So there's that.
Okay.
Yeah.
My week this week. Oh, go ahead.
I also did. Oh man, I did some more work on the house. I applied this film. This because we have a bathroom that has a legit window in it, but also I don't want to put up like drapes. I don't want to put up like drapes or Venetian blinds. So what I did is I just put on like this window cling that like obscures it. But it's basically
see out but not in.
No, you can't even see in. It just lets light through.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
So you basically painted over the window, sort of, but with a film.
Yeah. So light comes through,
okay.
But you literally can't see anything out.
Who are these people that are putting windows in bathrooms?
If you put a window in a bathroom, it's gotta be obscured or like really high up so that no one can really like look in. Because as it stands right now, I can look into my neighbor's other bathroom, which is a weird thing. So,
yeah, don't love it. Don't love it.
Yeah.
So. Although I have the greatest story. When we were looking for a house, this was 20 years ago, 2002.
20 years ago?
Yeah, about that long. 2002, we were looking for a house.
Okay.
We were looking in the area I currently live in, but we were having a hard time finding. We probably were looking at a bunch of different houses. And one of the ones we found was this one that had slowly been added on to.
Oh, I love those houses.
Yeah.
I mean, not really.
They're kind of weird, but this one was really weird because what they had done is they had built like a living room on the back of the house.
Wait.
Like
okay, sorry. I need to let you finish.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is a good story too. So they put this big living room on the back of the house, but like it was almost like they just added it to the house, but didn't change anything else about the house. And there was a shower, and in the shower was a window that led originally to the outside, which is weird enough.
Okay.
But they just built the living room like it was like a 2-story living room with like a high ceiling.
Okay.
and so the bathroom was upstairs. So basically, now in this living room, you could look up and see into the shower through the window.
That don't like that.
So no, don't love it. So either you're real comfortable with your nudity, or you're a little freaky.
Or
you
how about you just? Why did they? First of all, why did they leave the window? Second of all,
Yeah.
couldn't they have just boarded it up?
couldn't they have done anything other than just leave the window so that there's literally a window to the shower in your living room? Because
Yeah, that's fucking
that
weird.
we decided not to buy that house.
Well, good. I'm glad.
Maybe the person who did it lived alone and just never gave it any thought to, you know what, if more than one person lives in this house, this could get real weird real fast.
Yeah. Well. Okay. Anyways, what else? What else did you do this week? Sorry, I just kind of like cut you off there.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I just hadn't thought of that house in a very long time.
Yeah. Well,
I-
to be fair, I have a murder basement in my house, so you know.
I think you were looking for that though. That's like
I was
that
specifically looking for a murder basement.
And folks, I'm gonna go stay with him. So if you don't hear from me in October, I'm heading to Buffalo in late September. So I'll
Actually-
post a picture with me with a newspaper for proof of life after I get back, just so that people can know that I made it out.
I'm gonna be honest with you though. I actually wasn't looking for a murder basement. It's a thing in this state or in this region to just have murder basements, like unfinished basements. So
Yeah.
it's,
Well, that's
it's a
fine.
thing.
That's good.
Anyways.
Does it have one of those Pittsburgh toilet things in the basement where, like, to remove the pressure, you have to like flush it? And do you know what I'm talking about? Have you ever heard of these?
No, I don't have one of those. No, thank
Okay.
God.
Yeah,
Also
those are
known
weird.
as redneck toilets.
Yeah, those are weird. Very
Yeah, I don't
strange.
have one of those.
I mean, I guess that's good, honestly. But my week, I felt like a shut-in this week because I was supposed to get our car back this week. Finally,
Oh,
after we haven't had our full complement of vehicles since we
Mhm.
got back from Seattle, which was the end of March. So it's been a minute, and we're supposed to finally get my wife's car back so that she stops driving my car, and I'm not just shut in the house. That was supposed to happen on Thursday, but we still haven't heard from Hyundai about it being completed. So I guess I'd rather them take their time and fix it correctly than for it to not work and to die again. But I also am tired of not having a car. So I barely went anywhere this week. I feel like I've just been shut in my own house. But that's
Like
okay.
through a window, did you see a man commit a murder?
Well, there's no windows in my the room that I use as an office, so thankfully I am not privy to staring out the window and getting able to see other people murder people. I guess if I took a break, I could go do that.
Just creep on people?
Just creep on people and hope one of them murders the other. This is the vibes. The vibes today are very weird.
The vibes today are bad. The vibes today are very weird. Yeah.
I tried shaking it off, but they're coming after us. So yeah. Apart from not seeing murders, which is good, I don't want to see murders. Please.
Yeah. This is Untitled with Brian and Craig, where we delve deep into a local murder and we talk about it.
Right. Let's talk about it. We don't solve it. We just talk about it.
We just
You hear
talk
that guy
about
got
it.
killed? Yeah, I don't know what happened, man. It was crazy. We're not
Anyway.
here to solve murder.
We're not here to do
Yeah.
anything. We just want to talk about
No.
it.
We just want to talk about it. Let's talk about it. How do you feel about the guy getting killed? He was kind of a jerk. Anyway,
Anyway.
stayed home almost exclusively. Walked over to South Glen a few times and caught a few Pokemon on Pokemon Go. Spent several hours yesterday drawing NFL logos with googly eyes so that I could complete the Denver Broncos schedule.
Oh yeah. Those are great, actually. Those are pretty awesome.
Pretty awesome. Yeah, so I completed the Denver Broncos schedule, but every logo has googly eyes. So they're basically NFL logos, but Craig doodled, and then additional Google eyes where the normal eyes would be, or in cases of things like the Green Bay Packers logo that don't have eyes, just eyes slapped on it because every logo
Why
needs
not?
a pair of googly eyes. Everything is better with googly eyes, Brian.
It's true. Can confirm.
Also, I was given the gift of an AI song about the Crack-coon.
Yeah.
Which is it's AI, so it's probably free domain. We should just start our show with the Crack-coon song or end our show with the Crack-coon song. That'd be fun.
I love the Crack-coon song. Or Meth-coon, I guess.
I don't know. Well, there was crack in the car as well, but I think he was more
There
into
was.
meth. So yeah.
Yeah, he was more into the meth. Yeah. Well, fun fact though, if you don't know, coon is an honorific in Japanese, and coon is for kids. It means like kids,
Coon.
so you're basically calling like, oh, child meth child. which is which is or crack coon is like, oh, kid crack. So
Great.
yeah, it's also kind of like for things like to make things cute, like what do you call it? Oh god, what's the name of the guy? There's a Daikon Radish guy, and his name is like Daikon Coon or something like that. Anyways, Bandit's a strange place.
Oh,
I mean, I
okay.
guess everywhere is strange.
Yeah, I think Japan. I talk good.
Japan.
Japan. I think it might be a slightly weirder than a normal place, though,
Yeah.
or just the versions that you've been exposed to and then are exposing me to are the weird ones.
Yeah.
That might really be the more of the issue there. There might be a perfectly normal, wholesome, generally average part of Japan that I'm not privy to, but I do get introduced to a lot of Japanese things via Brian, which when it goes through Brian's filter, that filter, folks, it filters out a lot of the normal stuff, and a lot of
Correct.
the weird stuff gets through. So,
Correct. Nothing
which I,
wholesome. Nothing
no,
wholesome, just weird.
what? No, not true. Every now and then you post something
Oh,
very
that's
wholesome.
true. I do some wholesome
You've got
things.
like a 5% wholesome rate, which does come through, which kind of cuts the rest of the stuff a little bit, makes it a little easier to take, I guess. So
Yeah.
it's a good ratio. I enjoy your ratio of sharing. Your filter is it might be destroying me slowly, but at least I'm enjoying the trip. So that's good.
Yeah, and I've been sending him messages like Instagram reels that I always say anime is a mistake, and I know every time he sees this, he's like, oh Jesus, what am I gonna see?
It makes me it fills my heart with trepidation in a way that no other sentence in the history of time has. Whenever I see a video accompanied by anime was a mistake, I know something awful is about to happen. And I'm about to see it. And we'll see how I survive and how I can continue on after being broken in yet another way. So that's fun. That does exist. That is a thing.
His spirit is broken.
The spirit is broken. So,
Yes, but you know
all
what
right,
it's time for?
I do. All right, we're going to test out more sounds that are hopefully not breaking. So, do 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 the news.
Mm,
Yeah, see, that wasn't good
that
because
was
it lacks the urgency of
yeah,
the speaker breaking doo doots.
yeah, yeah. There we go.
Yeah, the news.
I love how you're just like, and fuck those guys twice.
I just I like making that noise too much. Brian will
It
fix it
is.
in post. He'll
I'll
fix it
fix
in
it
post,
first.
folks. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the editor. That's his job. My job is to make. I'm the talent, and he's the editor. So wait, what? I don't know.
I am also the talent, the editor, the producer,
You're everything,
and yeah, I do a
and
lot.
I'm the guy that doodles and makes the doo 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 noises, and that's enough for me, I think. Oh, all right. The stories this week are. I was gonna say not Black Mirror is not the right thing. It's more like it's not Twilight Zone either. It's just like,
Mm.
huh, that's curious. So,
Or
our
like
first.
it's more of like the not the outer limits, but like the strange corner.
Yeah, yeah. The Strange Corner is a good way to describe it. It is the Strange Corner news segment this week, and we begin in Konitz, Switzerland. Swiss is Switzerland, right? That's not. Yeah, Swedish is Sweden. Swiss is Switzerland.
Swiss, yeah. Also, Swedish people, when you cut them, they bleed gold.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah, that's a total lie. That's
Okay.
positive racism, folks. I don't know.
What?
I don't know, man.
Goddamn Swedish people and their blood gold.
And
Wait,
their golden blood. What?
what?
Yeah, I don't know.
Where did that come from? If you cut Swedish people, they bleed
It's
gold. Is this a thing, or is this just something that came out of your mind?
this is something I saw on a show that
Okay.
needs to be watched. It's called it needs to be watched. It's called Danger 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
They bleed gold.
They bleed gold, yes.
What?
Mhm.
I have no further questions.
Yep.
Okay.
Moving
We're
on.
we're not even talking about Switzerland or Sweden. Wait, yeah.
Nope.
We're not talking about
Wait,
Sweden.
yes, we're talking about Switzerland.
Switzerland. Swedish people bleed gold, but our story sets us in Switzerland.
Yes.
Specifically, the municipality of Konitz or Koniz. I don't speak Swedish. Swiss.
Yeah.
Oh crap. Swiss. I don't speak Swiss.
You're so bad at this.
I'm so bad at this. Why do they let me do this? Did I call myself the talent? Why would I do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's what happened in Switzerland this week. Well, not this week. This was back in April, but this is just kind of weird, and it gets weirder as we go.
Wow. It started out bad and then it got worse.
It started out weird and then it got weirder. So, a fast flying duck, Brian, is the star of this story.
Fast flying duck.
Fast
Okay.
flying duck. It went so fast that it literally broke the speed limit, Brian. It was
Okay.
flying down a street, low level flying,
Okay.
and it flew through an area like an intersection that has like cameras on it
Okay.
and has speed cameras to capture the cars that are going too fast.
Oh, right.
This is
Okay.
This is a 12 mile per hour zone, which seems excessively slow.
Yeah, that does seem excessively slow.
But the camera went off because the duck was traveling at 32 miles per hour as he flew through the intersection.
I didn't even realize ducks could fly that fast.
Dude, I didn't either. But they can go 32 miles an hour because this one was going that fast through the intersection, like just barely above the street, like at the level of a car, basically. And so the speed cameras took a picture of him. And so there's this speed trap picture that went off of a duck. He didn't have any plates though, so I don't think they're going to be able to send him.
Yeah,
any,
you really
stickers or
can't
anything.
do anything about that.
You can't do anything about when a duck is speeding. It turns out, but the photo is hilarious. The photo is really really good because it's just this duck flying through the intersection. But here's where it gets even more weird, Brian.
Okay. I'm listening.
This happened April 13th, 2025.
Okay.
On April 13th, 2018,
Mm-hmm.
a duck traveling at 32 miles per hour through this exact same intersection set off the camera, and a picture of a duck flying at 32 miles per hour through the intersection went on to their camera thing.
The prophecy.
Yeah, exactly 7 years to the day later, it happened again.
So every 7 years that'll happen then.
Yeah. So set your clocks for 2032, April 13th. A duck will fly at 32 miles per hour through. But
almost as reliable as Hayley's comet.
Yeah, exactly. Haley's duck.
Haley's duck. Okay, Haley's duck. Got it.
Haley's duck. Yeah, that's really good. I like that.
That was really good, actually.
The duck. Exactly 7 years later. I mean, it's not really news. A duck set off a camera going fast, but the fact that it happened once is kind of weird and kind of funny. The fact that it happened twice is even funnier. The fact that it happened exactly on the same day is just weird, Brian. We've reached a level of weird where it's like I said, it's not Black Mirror, it's not Twilight Zone, but it's just like, hey,
the weird corner.
Yeah.
The scary door.
So, the duck always knocks twice, Brian. That's what
the duck always knocks twice. Yes.
On April 13th, that's what happened. So anyway, I just thought that was a fun story. I enjoyed it. So, like I said, fingers crossed. April 13th, 2032.
Yeah, Haley's duck will come again.
Haley's duck. Every 7 years, he flies through the intersection and sets off the traffic cameras.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty low stakes, but
really, if it doesn't happen, literally nothing will be bad. But it'll just be sad that it didn't happen again. Here is a story of a thing happening twice, slightly less eerie or weird, but also maybe more funny.
Okay.
The site is Japan's Mount Fuji.
Love it.
Yeah, you got to.
Okay.
A climber was traveling up Mount Fuji, which is a very popular place for hikes, apparently. I did not know this, but it is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, very popular hike. A 27-year-old, identified only as a Chinese student living in Japan, made an emergency call from Mount Fuji because he was developing symptoms of altitude sickness and couldn't go on and needed to be rescued. So that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, that's okay.
So he's near the top of Mount Fuji, and they bring up a helicopter to save him. And apparently, Japan has a policy where they don't charge people. That they want to save people if they need it. And they might be a strange culture, but at least they're a caring culture, and they're not like the ambulance that hits you on your bike and then charges you $1,800 to take you to the hospital.
Yeah, that's kind of the worst, which we covered
Yeah.
in one of our earlier episodes. Go check it out on Apple and Spotify.
Oh, look at you. I think if they've
Yeah.
made it this far, maybe they already heard that one, but maybe not. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe jumping in at the random times, just listen to random episodes. And if so, hey, there's a whole backlog of glorious content, even better than what we're doing today.
Yeah, the vibes are weird today, but we'll just keep going.
It's fine. We got Haley's duck out of it, so it's not a
We did
complete
get
loss.
Haley stuck out of it. I think the name of this episode will be the vibes are weird and also Haley's duck.
Haley's duck. That's probably a good way to go. Yeah. So he gets airlifted off Mount Fuji. They take him to the hospital. He gets taken care of. He gets treatment. He's fine. Cut to 4 days later, Brian.
Okay, 4 days later.
He thinks he's okay now. So he left some things at the top of Mount Fuji when he was airlifted out, and he's like, you know what? That was a one-time thing. I'm better now. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go get the stuff that I left behind. And I'm gonna just finish my hike and be able to go see the top of Mount Fuji.
Yeah. Okay.
He gets to the same place. He once again experiences altitude sickness symptoms. He once again is unable to continue. He calls and they airlift him out again off of
Jeez.
Mount Fuji.
Did he say, hey guys, can you pick up my shit? I don't want to have to do this a third time unless that happens a third time, in which case, dude.
Yeah. So the policy is being tested about how many times they're willing to airlift people for free. A lot of people around the area apparently said, hey, maybe once is okay, but if we keep doing this, at some point we should probably think about that. So they're reconsidering their policies, but that he did not get charged a second time for being airlifted off of Mount Fuji 4 days after doing it the first time.
Yeah, well, I think that's kind of like a one-off.
It's yeah, let's hope, right?
Maybe a one-off.
Let's hope it's just a one-off. So anyway, I'm Craig, and that is the news.
Craig.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna tell you about my ancestral homeland today.
Oh, your ancestral homeland. That's
yes.
I guess I don't know. I don't know where your ancestors come from. Let me. If I looking at you, I'm thinking either like Greek, Italian, Polish maybe? I don't know.
You're so wrong.
I'm so wrong. What am I saying? No, I know this about you. You have Latin roots.
Yes, I do have Latin roots.
Well, Italian's kind of Latin, so. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, okay, you could argue that. No, what I'm talking about is Alaska.
Oh, that's not ancestral, is it? You're not Inuit.
No, I'm not Inuit or anything. No, I totally forgot about this. So this past Sunday was Mother's Day.
Yes.
Wait, yeah, this past Sunday was Mother's Day.
Oh, and wait! Before you proceed on, I'd just like to thank you for that lovely video of the woman giving birth to some kind of green monster.
Yeah.
And then it said Happy Mother's Day. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah,
Thank you for
awful.
That
was awful.
Thank you for that.
And I saw that and I was like, who needs to see this with his own eyes? It's Craig. Craig needs to see this.
I did. So I just thought, since you brought up Mother's Day, and that's what's sticking in my head when I think of Mother's Day plus Brian equals horrific green monster being born to a regular woman, and then everyone freaking out because.
Well, I mean, to be honest, if a woman just birthed a horrific green Satan creature, yeah, I'd be freaked out too.
I'd freak out a little bit. Yeah, I'm sorry I interrupted you, but I just had to thank you for providing that little bit of warmth and joy to my life. So yes, okay, continue on.
Well, so in Alaska there is a musk ox farm.
Okay.
It's I forget the name of it. I think it's just called. Oh, it's literally called the musk ox farm, and it's a Mother's Day tradition, and they get super busy because it's Mother's Day is around the time that the musk ox have babies and stuff.
Sure.
And mothers get in for free, and it's very wholesome, and they get a daisy, and then they it's just a thing that you do. But apparently it started back in 1964, and then it stayed in Palmer. But it's just one of those things that is, because you know how we have, like, in Buffalo has Dingus Day and Golden and Golden, weird things like this, weird things like that. Yeah, it's just
muskox day.
It's just muskox day.
So
So
you just
yeah,
to the musk ox farm. Moms
yep.
get in free. How much do non-moms get in for? Do you have to pay? Is it like
It's a couple bucks. It's like $10 or $15. It's not bad.
okay, and then you just get to see musk ox?
Well, so you get to see muskox, and they're actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
They're actually pretty cool if you've ever seen a picture of one, and they have like probably the warmest like fur because they're Ice Age survivors. They were around during the Ice Age,
Sure.
and it's kind of cool. And if you can buy fibers to make yarn, and a lot of mothers like do that, like because a lot of people have like musk ox hats and stuff like that. So because it's super warm.
So could you make a sweater out of it? Is that a thing?
You could, yeah,
Ooh.
yeah, and it would be very
Is it
warm.
soft? That's warm, but is it soft? Is it
Yes. Oh, incredibly soft.
okay?
It's softer than, I don't know. I guess it's like, what is it, like fleece? Like you
Okay.
know how it's like softer than that and warmer, and it's natural and it retains more heat. It's similar to wool, actually.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, wool's
so
kind of scratchy, so it's softer than wool. But
softer than wool. Yeah, well, wool is scratchy, but it's similar to wool, I should say,
okay.
in that way. Yeah.
Well, that's nice. See, this is a pleasant, wholesome thing. I keep waiting.
Nope,
I keep
there's
waiting for
nothing.
twist.
Nope,
There's no twist.
there's no twist. Starfish Hitler isn't gonna just pop out and, start attacking the muskox.
What if he did though? And suddenly it's the muskox for the starfish Hitler.
The muskox are
Dude,
pretty heavy, and I would
I'm
assume that they could do some damage to Starfish Hitler.
some Japanese dude has already at least given this some thought for sure.
Yeah, listen, man. One of these days we'll get into tokusatsu films or tokusatsu, and that's basically like the Sentai stuff, where it's basically it got really popular. It's a style. So the Super Sentai is like the Power Ranger stuff, and it got super popular in like I want to say the mid '60s, and like has stayed popular. I mean, it's
Is this all the plastic mask people
yes,
laughing like the bad
yes,
guys going like laughing like that but for far too long in a plastic
yes,
mask? Okay,
yes.
that's okay. It's creepy.
I love
A little creepy.
tokusatsu because it's absolutely pants on head ridiculous.
It really is. It's true. And all the bad guys laugh like that. Every single one of them.
Yeah, even the women. It's kind of weird.
Well, yeah, sure. Well, I mean, they're not going to be sexist about this. Do they at least do it in a higher register, or is this just the same thing?
Nope.
No.
I just wanted you to do it again.
Hey, I'll do this all day, man. It's a really fun laugh. No wonder the bad guys do it. It's great fun.
Yeah. Oh
Okay.
god, I could hear you do that like all day. It is fun to do. It is fun to do. It's just like
Yeah. All right, now I
yeah.
want you to do it. You do it one more time. Do it. Do it. This is the part where the show devolves into us laughing like Japanese bad guys.
Hold on.
So
Yeah, but
stupid.
yeah, but
Okay.
they're all like weird thing. Like, anyways, we got way off topic, but it was a wholesome. I just wanted to tell you that because I was like, oh, this is wholesome, and he probably doesn't know about this.
I don't. I like that there's a muskox farm you can go visit and moms get in free.
Yeah, and you can go there, and all the money supports the muskox and stuff. And they obviously sell the wool and stuff, and you know,
All
it's just
proceeds go to muskox charities.
well, I mean, it goes to the farm. I mean, they kind of have a herd.
It's
I don't
fun.
think
Yeah.
there's muskox charities.
That was kind of the point of that. That's
Well,
the joke.
I what do the muskox need? Like, what is it? Like, what do we talked about this in a previous episode? What was it? From the eyes of a child or eyes of an angel or whatever
yeah,
that
yeah,
song
yeah.
is. Whatever that song is.
We're making Kate crazy because in the arms of the angel,
Where's
we're
the
doing it
angel?
again. We did this already, and
We
Kate
did this again.
and Kate came up to me and she's like, "You guys couldn't even get the Sarah McLachlan song right. It's this." And then she told I think it's "Arms of an Angel," but I'm
Yeah,
not
that
positive
sounds
about
right.
that. But she was mad at me, and now we just did it to her again. I'm sorry,
We
Kate.
did. I don't feel bad. Okay, I do feel a little bad.
I feel
I feel a
mildly
little
bad. Not bad enough to think that maybe in 3 months we might also wonder what's the name of that Sarah McLachlan
bad.
song.
Yeah, but it's not like she like people are coming out and are being like the muskox need your help. They're that's a dying breed. No, I mean there's quite a
Would
bit of them.
someone please think of the Muxox children?
Yeah, think of the muskox. For $50 a day, you can support these majestic creatures.
They'll get
In
an
the arms of an angel.
They'll be rescued from the Muskox streets.
They're hanging out with the meth coon with the meth raccoons.
That's right. We'll get them away from rodents that do crack cocaine. Oh, taken off the streets,
Yeah.
giving them a warm place to eat, giving them a good education, so they can go to Muskox College.
Yeah, muskox Harvard.
Oh, dumb.
Yeah, that's super dumb, and I love it.
I do too. Okay,
All right,
is it
well,
is it time to make a movie out of whatever this was?
yeah, yeah, okay. I think I have one. It's gonna
Yeah.
be a
Okay. Good.
it's gonna be a Pixar film.
Well, I mean, it has to be sometimes. Sure.
It'll be a Pixar-like film, and it'll be like one of those Saturday morning cartoon style
Okay.
stuff. But like kind of Pixar wholesome. It's about a muskox baby who's like, I want to go on an adventure, and muskox mom is like, no, no, and so he's like, I want to go on an adventure, and so he gets his little animal friends. One of them is a raccoon who is supposed to fill the role of the mentor character, but is surprised the bad guy.
No,
Um,
wait. The
what?
raccoon. The
A rac-
raccoon was hiding something.
Yes, the raccoon was hiding something shocking because they're such, stand up.
Got
They're known in the animal kingdom for being just
stand-up
bros.
creatures. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
stand up creatures. Yeah.
God, what's the quote from this week? God gave them hands, but no shame.
Yes, God gave them hands, but no shame. Um, but yeah, so they're going along in their little journey, and they just do stuff. And some of their things that they do is they do fun things like rescue other animals from the creek, and then they join them, and but they come across, and they have this duck, and this duck keeps zipping past, and he's like, I'm wanted by the law, and the is
For
wanted by the
speeding.
law for speeding, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Of course. And the raccoon is like, well, oh man, I got some heat on me, but you could sell this meth, real quick. And so basically uses the duck as a courier, as a mule.
Duck
Animal
mule.
puns. Duck mule. And it's like these two movies. It's like this horrible dark thing similar to
Uh-huh.
Sausage Party, but like a super wholesome thing, like Saturday morning cartoon stuff, and it just goes along that way until there's a scene in the movie where the muskox, the main character, is like, I can't believe you do this, Rosie Raccoon or whatever it is, and is like, it was me all along, and then they have and then it switches from Pixar to like very bad rubber suit live action, and
Ooh.
they have a fight. Of course, the muskox loses because muskox don't have opposable thumbs, and all this one also isn't high on crack.
And that's a bad thing for a fight.
That's a bad. Well, being high on crack is a good thing for a fight because you can't feel pain.
Okay.
So you know. So the moral of the story is, I mean, the muskox still wins because you gotta crime doesn't pay and all that.
Sure, sure, sure.
But
Well,
and then the muskox,
I would think that the muskox takes it on the chin for a little bit from the crack infused raccoon, but then Rocky style kind of pulls it out at the end.
yeah, that's kind of how it's gonna go. And then
Okay.
and then the raccoon is like, oh, I'll get you next time because it can't die because it's not
Right. Sure.
yeah. And then he's like, I'll get you again, and hops on an e-bike, and this is where the raccoon meets its demise because it's a raccoon. It doesn't slow the e-bike down and crashes into a tree.
Into a tree, and and it dies from its injuries.
Yes,
And
from
that,
that.
yeah,
Yes,
he's not
and
killed.
that is how the movie will end. It ends on a high note.
Could that be a big explosion when the e-bike hits the tree?
You know what? Yes.
I don't know
Michael Bay
why it would
style.
explode. because it's an electric bike. I don't think there's any fuel that would cause a big fire. But
Well, if you puncture the battery pack, it could.
I only need plausible explosibility. Explodability.
Explodability, plausible
Plausible
explodability.
explodability.
Okay,
So that we
well,
can
all right then.
Haley's duck and the plausible explodability.
Yeah, ooh, that would be a good movie. I'd watch that. Haley's
Yeah.
Duck. Okay,
Oh, okay.
is
Well,
that your movie? Haley's Duck and the plausible explodability.
I think it might have to be at this point. We start out with Hayley, who is a duck.
What?
Yeah,
What?
the duck's name is Hayley. Why can't it be
Okay.
Haley's duck? But it's just Hayley, the duck. It's like Howard the Duck, but Hayley instead.
Okay.
Except
I'm going to stop you there. Howard the Duck is a slept-on classic, and by classic, I mean it's absolutely a terrible movie, and you should watch it while under the
it's bad.
influence.
Oh, have seen. Do not disagree.
Anyways, continue.
Okay, so Haley is a duck, and the continued existence of all time and space depends upon Haley the duck. Because there's a weird feature in the cosmosphere which requires every 7 years for a duck to fly through a Swiss intersection and set off the camera on April 13th.
Okay.
If this does not happen, the world will end.
Okay.
Why? Well, because the duck didn't fly through the intersection, dummy. That's why, obviously.
Of course.
And so it has to be a duck. It doesn't have to be the same duck every year. But there's a duck that is selected
Okay.
two years beforehand, and it's selected by the universe. And that duck it somehow learns of its destiny that it must survive for at least 2 more years. I don't know what the lifespan of a duck is. They live 2 years, right? Surely they
Yeah,
do.
2-3 years, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, and that duck, they might live 30 years. I have no idea. They could die in 3 days. They could die. They could be
I'm
immortal.
pretty sure a duck is not. They could be immortal.
I don't know about ducks.
Are you not a duckologist? I thought you were a duckologist.
I've let my duckology degree really
You
lapse.
really have let your duckology degree, which is not called duckology. It's
No,
ornithology, but we're just gonna say it's duckology because we're
I,
stupid.
I specialized in ducks, thank you. I didn't care about any other birds. It was just ducks. So I was a professor of duckology, which you would think would mean I would have some idea about the lifespan of a duck, but no.
Not this day.
We're gonna go with ducks are immortal.
Ducks
I feel
are
like
immortal. Okay.
that's now law. It's
The
canon.
ever-expanding lore.
That's correct.
Okay.
Ducks cannot be killed. Where was I in this? Oh yes, the duck
yeah.
has been chosen and must fly through the Swiss intersection for all life to continue. But the duck must first be nurtured by a musk ox.
Okay.
So we go back. We go back in time because the musk ox that nurtures the ducks well, he's not immortal, but he's very old. We do believe at some point he will die, but he's kind of like a Mr. Miyagi,
a mentor type.
Yeah, the mentor type, but like the old, wizened, slightly mystical mentor, muskox. So we learned that he is going to have to mentor the duck. I don't know how we learned this, but we'll figure that out. But then we also get well, this is just a pitch. We can still write it up and figure out all of this later. So, but we go back in time to learn about this muskox, who is now wizened and very wise, and he has facial hair that is ornate because he's mystical. He probably has crystals on a necklace around him somehow.
Oh God.
But we're gonna go back in time. We're gonna have like a flashback scene to when he was just a child and he was living on the hard streets of Alaska.
Oh, the hardest streets.
That's right. And if it weren't for the muskox charities, he never would have escaped those streets. Because
the muskox charities.
The hard streets of Anchorage, they take the life of many a young muskox. What with the raccoons pushing drugs and the lack of education, all of those things. But Sarah McLachlan, she came along and she sang a song of some title that no one really knows.
Yeah, no one really truly knows.
No one can be sure what it's titled. They just know that it's sad and it gets people to donate money. And enough people donated money to muskox charities that our wise muskox grew He went to Muskox College, the Harvard of Muskoxology. He got a degree, ironically enough, in duckology.
Oh, duckology. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a very popular degree amongst muskox because they're all vying to be the great wizened muskox who teaches the ducks about their annual, well, not seven. What's something that happens every 7 years?
Septology?
Septology?
No,
The study of every 7 years.
Septiversary?
Septiversary. Yes, the septiversary of duck intersection flying. What are we doing?
I don't know. I don't know what we're doing. You know what we should be doing?
What should we do? Are you pushing me? Are we looking at the back of a box now? I want to finish my movie.
No, I'm just giving you shit.
Oh, you're not wrong, but yeah. So he grows up. He becomes the Weizennox. He gets the position because of his advanced degree in duckology, and he teaches Hayley how to fly at 32 miles per hour at a low altitude.
Specifically, 32 miles an hour.
It's got to be for the prophecy to be fulfilled.
Yes.
And for the world to continue on. It's very important. And he teaches her about the small town in Switzerland that she must go to.
Yes.
But then it's up to Hayley, and so she has to fly because she's in Alaska. She has to fly all the way to Switzerland from Alaska, which I think is a pretty long trip.
Pretty long trip. Not so bad.
Kind of a ways.
But we can say it's long.
Kind of a ways. I'm gonna say it's long. I'm gonna say it's a bit. I feel like Anchorage, Alaska, to Switzerland is a bit of a trip for a duck.
Okay,
but she makes this flight, and then she gets to her Swiss town, and it's April 12th, so it's the night before, and she's worried because she knows that she has to do this the next day, and she's tired from her long journey, but she's determined.
Oh no! Yeah,
and so that night she gets attacked by a Japanese monster that had just recently been born to a regular woman, but it's this green monster, and green monsters, as we all know, even when they're just born, are still very dangerous. So it pops up, and I'm only assuming it laughs like this. Had to do that one more time. And it takes a swipe at Hayley, and damages her wing.
No.
Yeah, so she can barely fly now, and she has to get to 32 miles per hour.
She's got to
for the world to continue. So it's now a story of determination because she's struggling to fly, but she still manages to get up in the air, and she goes really high in the air so that she can gain speed by just coming down. And she has to time this perfectly because she has to gain the speed by diving and then pull through the intersection really low to the ground so that she can hit 32 miles per hour flying through the intersection so that the cameras go off. So it's kind of like the end of Back to the Future at this point, where they have to get
gotta hit 32 miles an hour.
Yeah, exactly. Once she hits 32 miles per hour, we're gonna see some serious shit. Is basically what at some point we have to have that line in there, spoken by Christopher Lloyd, who's going to be like a bear or something in this movie.
Yes.
Yeah. And so that night she rests, and then she's flying. She's the next day she's trying to make this, and of course it's a thunderous night with lots of rain, and so it makes it even harder. But this is a story about overcoming, Brian. And she flies really high in the air, and she's frightened because the lightning is flashing all around her, but she's determined, and she begins her dive. And the movie ends as she flies through the intersection, and the very last thing we see is the flash of the intersection camera going off. And then a photo of the ticket that is being issued with a duck flying through the intersection, and it shows 32 miles per hour on the ticket.
They made it.
That's how the movie ends. The universe is saved. Yeah,
the universe is saved. That is good. I was really waiting for you to say she can't fly and she steals an e-bike, but
Oh, that would have been good too. But
that's what I was waiting for. But that never happened.
You have to overcome sometimes. So she still could fly enough where she could make it happen. So yeah. Okay. Because she learned from the muskox, Brian.
That's right.
All right. Well, that was the thing we just did.
Yep. The vibes were weird, but we did get Hayley the duck out of it.
We did get Hayley's duck.
Hayley's duck. Hayley's duck.
Hayley is stuck, and the plausible explodability.
And the plausible explodability. Yep. And then no explanation of no explanation of explosion. Just that's what it is.
No, plausible explodability. That's all we need.
Plausible explodability. You know what?
Oh,
Can't.
right.
This is not a good. This is not a good segue.
It's not.
No, I was trying to do a good segue, but it's not a good
segue to it.
segue.
Hey, Brian, go into your bathroom and grab a box of Q-tips.
I have it. What should I do with them?
Good. Okay, look at the front first, but don't read anything.
Oh
Just look
no,
at
there's nothing to read.
No, exactly. I'm saying just look at it. You could read the
Okay.
words Q-tip, but I think
I'm
that's all
looking
that's
at it.
there.
I'm looking at it.
Okay, good.
Except mine
All right,
says cotton swab on the end of a
Oh.
stick because it's the generic brand.
Generic.
Yeah, generic.
Well,
Yeah.
that still might work. Because they probably still have the warning on the back. Brian, here's the thing they don't teach you in duckology school.
What do they not teach you in duckology school?
What you gotta do is flip that bad boy over to the backside. No one thinks to do this, but you really
Wow. Whoa.
should. Dude.
There's
I know.
words.
Exactly. And go ahead and read those words, Brian, because you know what you should always do?
Should you always read the back of the Q-tip box?
You should always read the back of the Q-tip box.
Untitled with Brian and Craig is produced and edited by me, Brian Dunnigan. It is also hosted by me, Brian Dunnigan, as well as Craig Dodge. Opening and ending themes are created by AI, so nobody has license to those.